Welcome to Module ACC WP 2.1, titled Organization and Structure. As you continue your route today, imagine that the essay you are about to write is a building. In our previous module, we established the purpose, which is the function of the building, and the focus, which is the specific blueprint. Now, we are looking at the organization and structure, which refers to the actual framing, the hallways, and the logical flow that allows a visitor to navigate the space without getting lost. On the Wright Placer exam, the automated grader is programmed to look for a highly specific, traditional academic shape. If your essay lacks a clear beginning, middle, and end, or if your ideas are jumbled together in one giant block of text, the computer will automatically assign you a low score, regardless of how good your ideas are. To achieve a top-tier score, you must demonstrate structural mastery by using a standardized organizational model and clear logical signposts. The first and most important rule for organization and structure on the ACC WP is to embrace the standard 5-paragraph essay. While you might feel that this structure is too rigid or simple, for an automated grader, it is the gold standard of clarity. The 5-paragraph model consists of one introductory paragraph, 3 distinct body paragraphs, and one concluding paragraph. This structure provides the computer with a predictable lexical map. It knows exactly where to look for your thesis, your evidence, and your final thoughts. If you write only 2 long paragraphs, or if you write 7 tiny ones, you are making the computer's job harder, which will result in a lower score. Let us break down the anatomy of the introduction from an organizational perspective. Your first paragraph should follow a funnel shape. It begins with a broad, contextual statement that introduces the general topic of the prompt. This is followed by 2 or 3 bridge sentences that narrow the topic down to the specific issue at hand. Finally, the most important structural element is the thesis statement, which must be the very last sentence of the first paragraph. In the world of organization and structure, the thesis statement is the blueprint for the rest of the essay. It should contain a forecast of your 3 main points. For example, technology is a positive force because it increases global connectivity, provides access to educational resources, and fosters economic growth. By listing these 3 points in this specific order, you are setting a structural expectation that you must follow in the body paragraphs. This leads us to the concept of logical progression. The order in which you list your reasons in the thesis must be the exact same order in which you present them in your body paragraphs. If your thesis says connectivity, education, and economy, then body paragraph 1 must be about connectivity, body paragraph 2 must be about education, and body paragraph 3 must be about the economy. If you switch the order, you have committed an organizational violation. The automated grader looks for this structural symmetry. When it sees the word education in your thesis and then sees a whole paragraph about education in the second slot, it recognizes that you have a high level of organizational control. Now let us analyze the anatomy of a body paragraph. To maintain a top-tier structure, every body paragraph should follow the M-E-L plan. M stands for main idea, E stands for evidence, A stands for analysis, and L stands for link. The main idea is your topic sentence. It must clearly state the subpoint of that paragraph and link it back to your thesis. The evidence is your specific example or fact. The analysis is where you explain how that evidence proves your point. The link is the final sentence that wraps up the paragraph and prepares the reader for the next one. By using this internal structure for every single body paragraph, you create a rhythmic consistency that the computer grader identifies as sophisticated and organized. The third pillar of this module is connective tissue, or transitions. On the Wright Placer, transitions are the joints of your essay. Without them, your structure is just a collection of disconnected bones. You must use transitions at 2 levels, the macro level between paragraphs and the micro level between sentences. At the macro level, the first sentence of every body paragraph should start with a transition of sequence. Paragraph 2 should begin with, To begin with, or first and foremost. Paragraph 3 should begin with, furthermore, in addition, or a second significant factor is. Paragraph 4 should begin with, most importantly, lastly, or beyond these immediate benefits. These words act as signposts for the automated grader. They scream, "Hey, I am moving to the next part of my structure now." The computer explicital. Y counts these words to determine your organizational score. At the micro level, you must use internal transitions to connect your evidence to your analysis. Use words like consequently, for instance, in contrast, and therefore. If you just place two sentences next to each other without a transition, the computer perceives a logical gap. It thinks your thoughts are fragmented. By adding the word therefore, you are building a bridge over that gap, showing the computer that your thoughts have a continuous, organized flow. The fourth pillar is the power of the pivot. This is a sophisticated organizational move where you acknowledge the other side of the argument before returning to your own. On the accuplacer, the best place for this is usually at the beginning of your third body paragraph. You can start with a transition like, "Admittedly, some may argue that," followed by a brief mention of the opposing view. Then, you use a contrast transition like, "However, this perspective overlooks the fact that," and you move back into your own support. This demonstrates that you can organize a complex, multi-dimensional argument while still maintaining your primary focus. The fifth pillar is structural balance. For an essay to be well organized, your body paragraphs should be roughly the same length. If your first body paragraph is 10 sentences long and your second and third are only 2 sentences long, your essay is lopsided. This suggests to the computer that you ran out of ideas or that your organization collapsed halfway through. Aim for a symmetrical build, approximately 5 to 7 sentences for every body paragraph. This visual and structural balance is a key indicator of a high-scoring essay. Now let us discuss the anatomy of the conclusion. From an organizational standpoint, the conclusion is the reverse funnel. It begins with a restatement of the thesis. Do not copy your thesis word for word, use different vocabulary to say the same thing. This shows the computer that you have lexical variety. After the restatement, provide a brief synthesis of your 3 main points. Do not just list them again, explain how they work together to prove your stance. Finally, end with a closing thought, a broad statement that leaves the reader with a sense of rhetorical finality. A common organizational error is to just stop writing after the last body paragraph. This is called an abrupt ending, and it will severely penalize your score. You must provide an off-ramp for your reader. Another high-level organizational concept is chronological versus emphatic ordering. Chronological order organizes ideas by time. If you are writing about a historical process, you must move from the past to the present. Emphatic order organizes ideas by importance. Usually, it is best to save your most powerful argument for the final body paragraph. This is called the order of increasing importance. By using a transition like most significantly to start your last body paragraph, you show the computer that you have strategically organized your ideas to build toward a climax. This is a hallmark of a level 6 or 7S on the Wright-Placer scale. Let us discuss the paragraphing trap. Some students try to be too creative with their paragraphing. They might start a new paragraph for a single, punchy sentence. While this works in journalism or blog posts, it is a failure on the accuplacer. In an academic essay, a paragraph must be a developed unit of thought. If you have a paragraph with only 1 or 2 sentences, the computer sees it as underdeveloped. Conversely, if you have a paragraph that is 20 sentences long, the computer sees it as lacking structure. Use the 1 idea per paragraph rule to ensure your structure is clean and easy for the algorithm to analyze. The 7th pillar is categorical grouping. This means that similar ideas must live in the same structural silo. If you are writing an essay about the benefits of exercise and you have a point about physical health and a point about mental health, do not mix them together in the same paragraph. Put all the physical points in paragraph 1 and all the mental points in paragraph 2. If you jump back and forth, mentioning a physical benefit, then a mental one, then another physical one, your organization is muddled. Grouping like with like is the essence of good structure. How do you execute this on Tuesday? You must use the pre-writing blueprint. Step 1, read the prompt and pick your stance. Step 2, identify your 3 reasons. Step 3, on your scratch paper, draw 5 boxes. Label them: intro, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, conclusion. Step 4, write your thesis in the intro box. Step 5, write 1 keyword and 1 transition for each body paragraph box. By spending 3 minutes on this blueprint, you ensure that you will never get lost in the middle of your own essay. You are the architect, and the blueprint is your guarantee of a top-tier score. As you finish this neighborhood on your route, think of organization and structure as the address system of the city. The city is divided into blocks, paragraphs, and each block has houses, sentences. If the houses are in a random order, the mail carrier, the reader, cannot do their job. If the blocks are not clearly marked with signs, transitions, the carrier gets lost. Your job is to make sure your essay has a logical, numerical, and clearly marked delivery route, from the first word of the intro to the last word of the conclusion. To summarize the essential strategies for Module ACC WP 2.1. First, use the standard 5-paragraph model. It is the most recognizable shape for the automated grader. Second, place your thesis statement as the final sentence of your introduction. Third, use structural symmetry by presenting your body paragraphs in the exact same order they appear in your thesis. Fourth, use the M-E-A-L plan for every body paragraph to ensure internal structure. Fifth, use macro transitions like furthermore to start every new paragraph. Sixth, use micro transitions like consequently to link sentences within a paragraph. Seventh, maintain structural balance by making your body paragraphs roughly equal in length. Chinese letter, provide rhetorical finality with a conclusion that restates the thesis and synthesizes the points. Ninth, use emphatic ordering by saving your strongest point for last and marking it with a transition like most importantly. 10th, avoid abrupt endings or underdeveloped paragraphs of only 1 or 2 sentences. By mastering organization and structure, you are demonstrating that you can take a mass of raw ideas and forge them into a professional, academic argument. You are showing that you are in control of the reader's journey. This level of organization is the difference between a mid-level score and the top-tier score that will save you time and money at Hudson Valley Community College. This concludes our deep dive into Module ACC WR 2.1. You are now the master architect of the essay. When you are ready to explore how to provide the meat for this structure, our next target is Module ACC WP 3.1, Development and Support. Just say the word next when you are ready to continue.